According to Kathy Wood of ARK Invest, Tesla shares might reach $5,800 before splitting by 2026. Currently has a post-split value of roughly $1,933 per share. The bear scenario for a single stock split predicts pre-split value of $2,900 per share, post-split value of roughly $967 per share, and a projected value of $4,600 per share by 2026. Post 3-1 equity split, $1,533 per share. Those are enormous figures. Continue viewing if you'd like more information. The ARK Tesla projection is complicated, so break it down till 2026. Thus, kindly like this video and subscribe to our channel as a way to express your support. First, let's examine the bear argument. According to the bear case, 10 million cars will be sold for an average of $38,000 just from cars. This would bring in $372 in revenue. That ought to be $380. So we know this 10 million is rounded up, but what's striking is that the rows adjacent to human-driven ride hail indicate $67 billion in net revenue. Then, absurdly, the autonomous ride hailing service robo-taxi is valued at $51 billion. The gross margin on electric cars is 46, which is even more absurd when compared to the Q3 2018 results. By 2026, the gross margin is a ridiculous 50-50. Remarkably, the whole EBIT margin has increased to 30%, an efficient percentage from just over 23 in Q3. However, their projection is 37 by 2026. It's good to see that the practically crazy enterprise value to EBITDA is 14.5, which is insane. However, since we typically compute enterprise value in the present, I'm interested in learning how they determine the enterprise value in 2026. Therefore, they are unable to proceed to 2026. They already know the exact amount of debt and money they will have. Do I agree that they will supply 9.8 million vehicles by 2026? That's a stretch. Over 7 million people are expected by others by 2026. So let's wait and see how events develop going forward. She projects a 50 gross margin, which would provide about $250 billion in income to support the $967 stock price, which is $2,900 pre-split, depending on total gross profit after expenses. ARK and Kathy Wood's graphic lacked an operating margin or expense column. Rather, enterprise value is used to calculate EBITDA. By 2026, however, debt and cash must be included in enterprise value. Therefore, by 2026, we will learn how they arrived at the $3.03 trillion market value in Tesla stock price. It is reasonable to conclude that by 2026, if they are maintaining 50 gross margins, an operating margin of 30 would appear reasonable to me. However, I believe that by 2026, we'll require more than 10 million cars or even robo-taxi or ride-hailing income, and I'll explain why. By 2026, if they manage to provide 9.8 million automobiles, they will grow at an astounding 54. They will rise by 2023, 2024, or 2025 by 60 to 65%. They will need to adopt new tactics in 2026 if they want to release the new generation more quickly. Furthermore, as mentioned in the Q3 financial report, the new cars have to cost half as much as the Model 3 and Model I. They'll move quickly since, in my opinion, 9.8 million for ARK is a bold move. However, it won't be able to grow at a rate of 64 annually if you don't start producing the cars until 2024 or 2025. Although they are claiming 64 growth, Tesla's objective is actually 50 growth annually. Once they make fresh plans and release 20,000 to 25,000 cars in the next 2 years, I think it's possible. Since robo-taxis will be in mass production by 2024, this is not feasible. Though I doubt they'll reach $51 billion by 26, it's possible if everyone pitches in. They project that by 2026, human-driven ride-hailing revenue would reach $67 billion only in the event that robotaxi is put into use. Would ride-hail revenue be considered? If you don't need a human to operate the wheel, why would you want a human-driven automobile? If the number of vehicles increased from 6 million to 10 million, human-driven ride-hailing services and robot taxis would take off. That's crazy. $3 trillion valuation. Surprisingly, ARK left out Tesla Energy and insurance, which would have given the case a more compelling and grounded feel. And there will be a few-year delay in achieving the 2030 goal of 20 million cars. That's why experts like Cathie Wood and ARK expect 70 million by 2026. Yes, it's crazy, but the RoboCab is much more insane. It would be absurd to mass produce $500 billion worth of robot taxis in 2024. It would take 2 years to reach that goal, but that's for another video. She's predicting the average selling price will be $30,000. There will be about $1 trillion in total sales and roughly $600 billion in net income. Therefore, our simple income, not our net income operating margin, is over $500 billion. 17 million cars won't be sold by 2026, in my opinion. That is not going to occur. Even though I love Tesla, this will occur. A $500 billion robotaxi by 2026 is even less likely. It might happen in 2030 or 2032, but 2026 is a very optimistic year. Let's examine the overall scene. Thus, by year's end in 2022, we should have between 137 and 136 million automobiles in order to provide 17 million automobiles by 2026. However, they must increase by 80 annually. That is extremely intense. Furthermore, I don't think they'll be expanding at an 80 clip in 2022. They may be rising 60 to 65 because in 2022 and Q2, having looked at Uber, I also don't see the robotaxi, again, edible case, happening anytime soon. Uber makes roughly $17 billion annually. There are over 3.5 million cars on the road there. Thus, we may anticipate that the number of Tesla vehicles on the road will have doubled by 2024, and a cheaper service like Lyft, Uber chooses to take on Lyft and Tesla head-to-head instead of following Tesla's lead. As you can see, because Cathie projects that each vehicle would cost $30,000 by 2026, the average selling price for each vehicle drops more precipitously than it would in the bear case. GM's total profit margin revenues outstanding absentees. Shares, and as you can see, by 2025, we will exit $3 trillion in value. That represents the bull case. But what's even crazy is that from 2025 to 2026, it jumps literally as it doubles. This is nonsensical. Don't believe that this will occur. $967 by 26 is an illogical amount. At a 42, I estimate that shares will be worth $1,000 to $1,100 in 2026. However, she is recommending $967 at a 22.5 TH25 TS. I'm predicting 7 million autos if they produce 10 million. But as time goes on, we'll see. By 2026, she said the price is expected to be $4,600 or $1,500 per share. I don't think the bull case will happen, and 2026 will reveal if Cathie Wood's case is ridiculous. When it comes to sales and profits for the stock, the bear scenario is more likely. Let's say you include energy, insurance, and a host additional items that Tesla will introduce into the market. But in terms of stock price, the bear case is generally plausible. We'll just have to wait and see what makes more sense. This video provides an explanation of Cathie Wood's projected 2030 stock price for Tesla. Do you think she's right or wrong? Tell us in the space. Provided for comments below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe while you're at it. We appreciate your time, and we'll see you in our upcoming films. Thank you for watching.